The spicy brain. Yeah.
uh, Welcome everyone to Bowtie Security Guy After Dark. This is episode 33, I believe. My guest today is Maria Vermazis. How do you
Very
pronounce your last
close. Varmazas. You were super close. But
Vermazis? Ah,
yeah,
damn it. I,
it's
I I
okay.
I really tried to. I normally just dork up people's last names. So no, that's awesome. I met Maria at ThreatLocker's conference just recently at Zero Trust. She has an amazing podcast that she's on, Hacking Humans. But I want to know, like, kind of where did it all start? Like your interest in social media and kind of all the content branding and stuff that you do. How did you even get into this field?
Yeah. I mean, all right. So, whew, with a lot of failure, because I
Yeah.
originally wanted to be a computer scientist. I went to engineering school for a few years I really was interested in AI, and this was in the late 90s. So AI was different then than it is now. And I was, so don't read too much into it. We're talking about AI now
Yeah,
versus
you're
like
you're not you're
1999.
not pitching something or
No,
selling
no,
something with an AI
no.
solution.
I was thinking like, how can we make the world better with autonomous systems? Not how can we do terrible things.
Yeah, exactly.
So different world back then. This was like GeoCities world. So I really wanted to be in computer science. I'd been, my family's IT person for ages. I loved working on computers and being that person. But after about 2 years of that, I realized that my brain does not like programming all day every day. I can do some programming. I still do now. I enjoy it, but I can't do it for a living. I cannot.
Oh, yeah, no, me neither. I have a really hard time because of my ADHD. Like I can't do the same thing twice.
Yeah,
It's very
yeah.
difficult for me. The podcast, the reason I've been able to do that is because it's always different, right? You can
That's
kind of
right.
have those
Yeah.
conversations.
Yep. Same for me. I have a neurospicy brain and I really crave novelty. So for me, having a job where I get to interview people all the time or talk about news stories is like extremely satisfying. Anything that's monotonous and requires extremely deep work is really difficult for me. So I didn't know it in that language at the time. I've learned that
Yeah.
now, like 20 years later. But at the time, I just figured it's not for me. So I ended up doing a pivot in college and said I really like journalism. It's a job that doesn't pay, but I enjoy storytelling. Yeah, it didn't pay
Yeah.
then. Journalism was already dying, and people were like, "You're crazy going from computer science to journalism. That is a very bad move." And very, very long story short, after I graduated and I had my first job in a trade publication, a magazine, uh, layoffs started happening. I got laid off. The economy tanked. Feels really familiar.
Yeah.
And after a couple of really painful months of having no way of how on earth I was going to pay my rent or buy groceries, by pure luck, I saw a job ad for a software security company that was specifically looking for corporate storytellers, is what they called it at the time.
Yeah.
And
With
they were
Sophos, right? Is that who it
Sophos. That's
was?
exactly right.
Yeah.
Yep. And I went in there going, I'm still a geek. I did IT work in my college days. I was like the house call IT person. That's how I
Yeah.
paid for some of my tuition. I really enjoyed that. And I figured I don't know much about cybersecurity aside from some real basics, but I could probably learn, and I have an interest in it. And I love telling stories. I love working with people who have a much deeper technical knowledge than I do, and trying to help them translate this into information that's actionable for like an ordinary person. And that ends up that's what I was doing at Sophos for 4 years. I got to work with brilliant threat researchers and just absolutely incredibly smart people who had that deep technical knowledge. And I would be working side by side with them and figuring out, how do we get this story out? What do people need to know? What do customers need to know? What's interesting? What's not? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of learning on the job, and that's how I learned a lot about cybersecurity, was through that job. And I always say, when I'm talking to a cybersecurity audience like yours, I'm not an expert, and I know that, and I always own up to that.
I would
um,
argue that no one is, right?
that is
And
always fair.
like and I try to sell that point like you're only as smart as you were yesterday and
Hmm.
you always have the ability to get better. And if you think you know everything, you're probably not in the right business, right?
That's
Because
right. That's right.
this business changes so rapidly and so quickly, it's very difficult. One of the things that I found interesting about your career is like you took kind of what you loved, which is that technical aspect of things, and then you're like, well, I really like journalism too. And then you had that opportunity where you can kind of merge the two.
Yeah.
Cyber has a place for literally everyone,
It truly does.
Like
It
it
truly
doesn't
does.
matter what you love, but you have to love it. Because in the early days of your career, the money's not going to be there. The time is going to be just astronomical. So
Yep.
like let's go back to those days where you're
Oh, fun
this
times.
budding journalist who's learning to tell cyber stories, who's
Yeah.
translating geek speak into kind of relative median for the normals. Um,
For the
how
muggles.
many hours, yeah, how
Yeah.
many hours were you putting in? What was
Oh
that
God.
work-life balance like?
There
Because
was
people like
none.
us, yeah, with neurospicy brains, we tend to just kind of forget that things like eating, showering are important.
Bathroom. Yeah, all of
Yeah,
that.
no, I
Yeah,
will
it was.
my kids leave me notes like to say like, have you eaten today?
My daughter has taken the sliding notes under my door sometime being like,
Yeah,
"Do you realize
totally.
what time it is?" Yeah,
Yes.
it's there was no work-life balance, and I'm not saying that's great, but it was my reality. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember really distinctly working until 10 p.m. many days, and
Yep.
I was in my 20s and I should be out there having fun on a Friday night, and I was there in the
Yeah.
office.
Yep.
And it wasn't because I was necessarily working with people in other time zones, though I was. That was an element of it. But we were doing a lot of asynchronous work, so it wasn't required. But I really liked being able to talk to people when they were around.
Yeah.
But I was traveling quarterly overseas a lot of the times. I was going to B-sides events a lot. I being in person and talking to people where they were at and getting that energy in person was very informative for me. I won't lie, it was a lot of long hours, and it's really funny because when I was at Softwas, it's actually where I met my husband. He wasn't at Softwas, but he was at Verico down the road. We were both in cybersecurity in the same office park, and it's just like it figures. He was working long hours, I was working long hours,
Yeah.
and that was just like it just made sense that we kind of ran into each other that way. Yeah, when I ended up working a few years later at Rapid 7, I mean, I was sometimes up until 2 or 3 in the morning some days. It was,
Yeah.
and people don't, especially I think my more technical colleagues don't think that folks like me who are on more on the comm side will be doing stuff like that. And like I worked for our director of comms and PR, who was often the forward facing person for incident response. I mean,
Right.
she just never stopped working. So when there was an incident, which there always will be, I mean, she was that point person who was getting that messaging out, and that is a firefight, as everyone here knows.
Yep.
And yeah, it's if you've got a comms person in your pocket like me, if I'm your pocket comms person, I will be there with you in the trenches because I don't want you worrying about the messaging. Like if you are a technical expert, that's what you want to be working on, and we can refine the messaging with you. But I don't think you want to be stressing about this kind of stuff. Like you've got someone in your corner like me who can help you with
Yeah.
that,
Well,
and we
people
we
don't
want to do that.
understand. Yeah, and they don't know how critical that role is. I've met absolutely brilliant engineers who couldn't explain how brilliant they were in any way, shape, or form, right? So they have this brilliant idea, but they can't articulate it.
Yeah.
And many times that was one of the skills I realized if I can learn this skill, then I've got something. Because for someone
Yes.
like me with a high school education, without the pedigree that a lot of my coworkers had, I was like, how can I stand out and how can I be different? And it was
Hmm.
working on soft skills and it was working on being able to tell a story
Yes.
and get people to buy into your story, right?
Absolutely.
A
Yep.
lot of what we do as cyber people is like sell that story. So, I mean, you worked at Rapid 7, which all startups are kind of chaos, right? I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
um,
And it was largely pre-IPO Rapid 7, which is a different world from where it's at now. But I was there
right.
when it for 3 years before it went IPO, and in my last year we went IPO, and it was just very different after that. But yeah, it
Yeah.
was startup world the first 3 years I was there. I don't remember what employee number I was, but I remember we always joked like at many startups that you age in dog years, and when I got to 4 years, I was one of the elders. It was wild. It was
Yeah.
so weird after 4 years being like, I'm an elder, really?
It's crazy because you have to have a very specific mentality to survive in a startup culture. Startup culture is very breakneck.
Yep,
But there's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities for cash too, especially if you're pre-IPO and your company
yep,
hits, right? So I try to tell people like, hey, if you're looking to go into a startup, that's great. Just understand that your life no longer is anything. Your life is the company. And
that's right.
if
Yep.
that's not for you, that's cool. It's not for a lot of people, but that culture does not change.
No,
Like
and you've got
every
to be
every
scrappy.
startup,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
you've got to be. Well, even
Yeah.
in this market that we're in now, like you and I discussed a little bit on the Hacking Humans podcast, is like
Mhm.
it's weird. It's one of the markets that we've never seen before. Like
Yeah.
I've talked about it many times here, where it was like I used to be in a position where I would lose my job, and on my way out of the office, I'd be getting offers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wouldn't even make it to my car before I had another job. Now you've got people who are 20, 30-year veterans who can't even get interviews. And that's a big reason I wanted to kind of have you come on and talk is like, how critical do you think building that kind of social brand and thing is for longevity within technology?
Yeah, and everyone hates hearing it, and I can hear people, I can feel the cringe and the eye rolls. I'm
Oh,
saying it is important. It is.
yeah.
I'm so sorry, everybody. But I mean, I come from, and I think a lot of us do, the mentality of you keep your head down and you do hard work, and somebody out there will notice, and you'll be rewarded for working super hard. And
Right.
then inevitably you see people who are just kind of blowhards who don't do a lot of hard work and they do really well, and you're like, what the bleep? I don't know if I can swear on
Yeah,
this
you
podcast, so I'm
can.
just like, okay.
100%. You're totally
Okay,
fine.
so I'd be sitting there going, "What the fuck?" Like it
Yeah.
makes me super super mad. And I'm not saying you have to go all the way to blowhard land, because we don't need that in this world, honestly. But there is an element of, as uncomfortable as it is to put yourself out there in some regard and toot your own horn, people need to know that you exist. They need to
Yeah.
understand your expertise is there. And I recognize that it is also a time sink, and especially if you've got a lot of heavy technical expertise, it's like not what you want to be spending your time doing. But I cannot tell you how many people I know who are brilliant people like what you described, like 20, 30 year, veterans in the field who are essentially invisible. It's like if they are known in their own network and they've got a bunch of buddies who can kind of pull them into their next job, great. But the way things are right now with this job market, I would not 100% rely on that network being able to pull you up anymore. That's just not the way things are
No.
going. You've got to be visible.
Yeah, for every
Yeah.
100 people who want to help you, there's maybe one who can actually help.
That's right.
Right.
And it's like you got to be visible, and you've got to, if you can be memorable for the right reasons. You don't want to be
Yeah.
memorable for the wrong reasons.
Well, it
Like
was
that vendor party you got really trashed and that's the only way people remember you. It's like,
it's
oh
like,
no.
oh man, I remember you. You're that guy who did a header off a balcony. It's like, no, yeah.
How's that
Yeah.
head injury doing? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, when I first got laid off, I didn't have any social media presence. I didn't believe in social media, honestly, in any regard. I was a professional ethical hacker and social engineer.
You
Having
don't
all
want to
my
be
information,
visible.
no, having all my information online seemed
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
And I reached out to my recruiter friends and I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about going by this moniker, BowTieSecurityGuy, which is what I was called at Disney. And they're like, yeah, do it. And like you said, it's kind of about being memorable. I've gotten interviews just based on my about section where they're like, oh
Yeah.
man, your whole like Vanilla Ice references and stuff. Recruiters read garbage every day. Like,
That's
and
right.
I'm gonna like trigger a lot of you listening. Um, Aspiring cybersecurity person looking for
Never
X
put aspiring.
opportunity. Yeah, stop it.
Never put aspiring. Oh my gosh. Don't do aspiring anything. You're doing
Yeah,
it. You're just doing it.
just stop it.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
see it all the time. Like I've read so many resumes where it's like, cool, man. Instead, talk it, right? And
Yeah.
using those soft skills and growing those soft skills. I mean, you built an entire business off of utilizing those soft skills and kind of talking
Yeah.
security. So
Yeah.
when did you kind of break out from Rapid7 and start doing your own thing? Like when did you decide to make that change? Was there a catalyst at Rapid7 like, hey, I'm done dying and working like crazy?
Little
And
bit.
yeah, and
A little bit.
yeah,
It was, I really thrive in a scrappy startup environment. Now, my life has changed a lot since I've been in that world. I've become a parent, and now my time is much more directed towards my kid.
yeah,
But at the end of my 4 years at Rapid7, I was starting to feel, I think, there goes my lighting. There was some, I don't know if resentment's the right word, but I was not feeling at my best. I think
right.
there was an element of the company had changed, and I don't mean this is a bad thing. It had matured. And
Yeah,
I was a person who thrived in a less mature corporate environment.
yep,
I really wasn't ready to be working in big corporate. That was just not the kind of world I thrive in. And I was feeling that change happening, and I'm going, I don't think this is for me. And it just, when I started not looking forward to going into work every day, like the challenges started to feel a little monotonous. I said, I think I'd better get out of here before someone forces me out.
Yeah.
So, I just was like, maybe this is time for me to forge my own path. And I'd been thinking about going freelance for some time because I think kind of like you start to get job offers from people who are going, would you mind just helping me a little bit on the side here or there?
Yep.
And especially if you've been networking like I had been, not for shady reasons like trying to get ahead, but actually genuinely meeting people and having fun and like going to DEF CON and
100%.
hanging out in the villages and just learning, or going to a B-sides and just chilling out at the Locksport table and just talking and meeting people
Yeah.
because this is our tribe, right? Like these are our people, and I just want to learn from everybody. And I've learned from a lot of people. People have learned from me, and it's like we all enjoy spending time with each other. That it's like this is like a very human thing of we like hanging out. We like solving problems together. I know what other people are good at. They know what I'm good at. With our powers combined, we can like
Yeah.
tackle really cool problems together. And I know that they know that I'm not an asshole. I know that they're not assholes. So like we would
Right.
actually genuinely enjoy
Well,
collaborating.
and I read something recently. It says, I'm not bad at conversations because I'm autistic. I'm bad at pretending like I care about what you're talking about.
Unless
Um,
it's awesome. And then it's like, I can't hide the fact that I'm totally nerding out
no,
with you right now.
I
Yeah.
get so
Yeah.
enthusiastic. Like I become such a dork. Like on calls, like I do it all the time here, even at my current job, where I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. Like I got really excited there. Um, but what's really interesting, and I think a lot of people don't realize this, and this is what a lot of people who are afraid of these social interactions, going to a cyber conference is not like going to any other conference you've been to because
No.
everyone there doesn't like people and everyone there is antisocial. Like we're all doing it because we know that sometimes being around a bunch of other antisocial people makes you social, right?
It
And
weirdly enough,
it's
yes.
it,
Yeah, because we're
it
just
is
like we're all
super
starting
odd.
at the same level of malevolence, I
Yeah,
guess. I don't know. Like,
yeah,
and the old advice used to be to rely on substances to break the social anxiety. I'm glad
yeah,
we have
yeah.
matured as a community away from that advice because
Right, yeah.
I think that got a lot of people in some bad situations. I'm
Oh
really glad
yeah.
we're not saying that stuff anymore. I mean, I know some people are, but I think
Yeah.
as a community we've started to go. That's not healthy. There's an element of yeah, we're all awkward. It's like how do you break the ice in something like this?
Yeah.
I just acknowledge, hey, this is weird. But
Yeah.
I've got a bit of that golden retriever energy, and especially like I
I
start
do
geeking out.
too.
Yeah,
I have a golden retriever, so like that resonates so hard with me.
right, and it's just like for me, it's like that's the energy I put out, but. In other contexts, I seem like the most stone cold person because I'm just like, I don't understand the rules of engagement here. But I know
Yeah.
for me, when I go to like a B-sides or something, there are some people there who are like the elders, and there are a lot of people there who are brand new, and then there's a lot of folks like me who are in a messy middle who are trying to figure out what their
Yeah.
lane is. And it's like we're all trying to figure this out, but the reason we're all here is because we find this field very interesting, and there's a lot of really cool challenges that we've got to overcome.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's something like just going to see like the table where the stickers are at and talking to the people behind the table about like who made that sticker. And it's just like ends up the person telling you about that is the person who runs the conference and they know everybody.
It
And they ask you, what are you here for? And you're like, I don't know. And then they
uh,
just take you on this wild
yeah.
tour.
Yeah, I got my sponsor. Like a lot of people reached out and they're like, "How did you get ThreatLocker to sponsor you?" And I was like, I didn't. I just was like chatting with somebody at B-sides and just shooting
Yeah.
the S, and then somebody recommended me to the head of the company, and now
Yeah.
we've got a beautiful relationship where I get to go talk at conferences for them and do other stuff. Like
Yeah.
that moment happens so much more than you realize. I even had a conversation with one of my old colleagues who now works at ThreatLocker, and he's like, "Yeah, we're hiring like crazy," and I'm like, "Awesome! Hey, you've got to meet my mentee." And they're like, "Oh yeah, he already interviewed. I'll put in a good word." Like
Yep.
it's
That's how it goes.
we're the largest, smallest community in the world, right?
And it's also so, and I want to really emphasize this for your audience that B-sides events specifically are a very unique asset to the cybersecurity community. I know there
Yeah,
are lots of small conferences. B-sides is the series that to me is like the pinnacle because I cover the space world in my day job a lot. And when I started being in the world of the space industry, I was looking for sort of an analog to B-sides in space, and there really isn't one.
Yeah.
Everything was like these mega conferences for like these giant prime contractors,
Yeah.
which would be like saying to a noob, "Hey, go to RSA and figure it out." It's like that's the worst advice you can
Oh
give
my, I
somebody.
can't like telling somebody to go to DEF CON as their first con or something like
Oh,
if you're
buckle up,
looking to
Buckaroo.
yeah, if you're looking to burn your social, battery super fast.
Yeah.
That and that's something too I think really needs to be discussed is like you have to learn where your limits are, be
Hmm.
respectful of those limits, but also try to push them, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Like when I was at just recently at Zero Trust World, right? Like I was presenting on the huge stage, and their stage there was obnoxiously
Massive.
big.
Yeah. Oh my
I,
God. I've never seen
yeah,
one that big. It was
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, okay, I guess we're doing this. So somebody who has social anxiety like me, where I spent literally years being unable to really talk to two people, let alone a group of 2,000,
Yeah.
it was pretty intimidating. And then my social media brand manager who was assigned to me is like, hey, this podcast wants you to come on. This podcast wants you to come on. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna say yes a lot.
Yes.
And I'm gonna
Yep.
embrace the uncomfortable. And that's been my life motto my entire life is like, if it's uncomfortable, I'm doing it.
Yes. Yep.
Because it puts you in a position where you're learning. If you're not
Yeah.
uncomfortable, you're not learning, you're not growing.
Yep.
And because of that, I was able to stand on that stage. And I mean, it was a huge stage in a
Cannot emphasize
room.
that enough. It truly
Yeah.
was. You're not exaggerating. I remember
No,
walking in there going, what would be a good analog? That like a whole soccer pitch or something? Like that
it
one
it
screen was
was
just
it
insane.
was insanity. And there's a photo of me that's on my LinkedIn that's like me standing next to a giant head of myself. Like it is like the most
The
pretentious
Zardos
thing.
version of you.
Oh my
It's like,
God, it is ridiculous. I'm
yeah,
just like, oh man, I was not ready.
did you think 5 years ago you would have been able to do something
Hell
like
no.
that though?
Not
Yeah,
at all.
right? Yeah, yeah.
No.
And that's to me, it's so important what you're saying about the discomfort because um now that I've been in this field a little longer and I'm a little more seasoned, I guess, isn't old is not the word we use anymore, but
No, no. I've been
more
corrected multiple
more
times too.
seasoned. Um, I to me a strong tell for someone who's confident in their ability, but also um, it has expertise is their ability to admit the stuff they don't know and lean into that discomfort. Because to
Yeah.
me, it's like a strong tell of a noob of when they're like, I know everything and I'm never going to admit that there's stuff I don't know. It's like, okay, you're new here.
Yeah.
Because no matter you're in a field like this, it's going to humble, as you said, it's going to humble you real quick. So,
Oh man.
some of the like I'm thinking of the Loft guys, like they're
Yeah.
some of they're extraordinarily smart people, and I think they will
Oh
be the
yeah.
first people to tell you with the stuff they don't know, and they know their shit. There's no question there. So
Yeah.
it's like if you're going to be bloviating about how much you know and how solid your skills are, and like I can do this, I can do that. It's like you don't know enough yet.
Yeah. Well,
And
I,
you're
I
afraid to
always
look at the
say
dark corners where you are not comfortable.
I always say the way you answer a question you don't know in an interview tells me more about you than any other question,
That's
right?
right. Yep.
And so many people rely on the fake it if fake it till you make it, and you can't BS in cyber. Like you just
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
Like the people you're talking to are experts. And I get many of the hiring managers may not know technology, right? Especially if they've been career leaders,
Yep.
but they can still spot it, right?
They've
They
got a
can,
pretty good
and
BS meter in this field. We're pretty known for
100%.
that. Yeah, like
Yes.
we're known for the cynicism and the BS meter. So it's like, yeah, it's kind of the job is to have that calibrated pretty decently.
And
But it's
if
like it's
there's
it
a hint of that ego, right?
yeah.
That's where you're just like, I can't have that on my team.
Yeah, because you're going to get humbled real quick. But it's also, I feel like you're depriving that potential manager of understanding your thought process. Like,
Yeah,
okay, I don't know the answer to this question. You're going to encounter a lot of questions in your career where you're not going to know how to do a thing. How are you going
100%.
to figure that out? What's your
Yep.
process for figuring that out? That is what is going to get you through the day or like
Yep.
a really bad breach or some sort of incident. Like
Oh yeah.
that figuring out process. So that's what they want to
Yeah.
know, not that
Well, I
you
mean,
you
go
have the answer.
right, going to that breach process, right? So I did incident response for many years. In an incident response role, you are literally learning on the fly their logging tool, their information tool, and you're doing it real time
Yeah.
while trying to stop an attack. And
Yes.
you're not the expert. You rely on people who know enough, but you've got to have those innate curiosity to just keep peeling back, right? Just kind of
Yes.
keep peeling the onion going, okay, well, what about this? Are we capturing that? Are we capturing this? Does this have that? And a lot of times you don't know the tools that you're dealing with. You don't know the logging that's coming in. You've never utilized the application, and you've got to come in and just kind of wing it. And it's
Yes.
not about the core and most important thing is knowing what you don't know and knowing it instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
you have to be like, all right, explain this to me. I can tell you many times in my career where I go, okay, you lost me at Kerber roasting. Like, can we go ahead and take a step back? Um,
Yeah.
I would say something like, look, I'm really smart, but, and I
This is new to
put
me, what you're talking about. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
explain it to me as if I'm a child, so I can
Yes.
understand what you're saying. Like, and
Because
I'm not, yeah,
you're going to have to also explain it to your C level at some point because they're going, what
yeah,
the fuck is going on? And if that
exactly,
5-year-old is also running your company and they're not going to
yeah,
understand any of the technical details, but they're going to
no,
want to go, know, what do we know? What do we not know? Like those,
yeah.
it's like this two buckets, like what is known, what is not. And it's going to feel very unsatisfying to them. But the more honest you can be about that, the better off everybody
And
is.
yeah, and the second you make someone feel stupid, they stop listening,
Yeah,
right?
that's
So
totally
if you
true.
come
Yep.
in super hot, high technical, like you're not going to do well.
Yep.
And one
Yep.
of the most critical skills, and anyone listening, I'll give this if you ever interview with me, I ask a very simple question. Do you know what a firewall is? And they go, yeah, of course. I said, okay, explain to me how it works as if I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
And your highly technical people simply cannot.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll be
It's
like,
a,
well, it protects the perimeter. I was like, I don't know what a
what's
perimeter
a
is. And I
perimeter?
will just
Yeah.
keep interrupting you. It's
Yep.
like, oh, well, you have to open a port, don't know what a port is. Right. And when you lose somebody in a conversation, especially when you're dealing with a breach and you're trying to explain to them why they need to do X, if you talk down to them, or even if you just talk technical to them, you're talking down to them without realizing
Yes.
it.
Yeah, and it's stuff, and I sympathize for our experts listening who are going, but I need to know this stuff, and you do,
Yeah,
you absolutely do, but it's a code switch that you have to do, and
100%.
this is, I think, what differentiates people who, um, if you have like a really high ambition for you where you want to go, if you want to like move up the ladder, these are the skills you do have to get. I mean, that's just straight
Yeah.
up. That's what it is. If you're fine being at a certain level, then you can stay deep technical and that's it. But that's very career limiting. I would not advise that. Um,
Not only is it career limiting, it's going to make it so your ideas or anything you want to try to accomplish cool won't be listened to because you
that's
won't be
right.
able to articulate your idea. Like I've met brilliant engineers working with Imagineering who literally could not explain what they wanted to do, and their ideas always get passed up. But the guy who has a decent idea but can sell a hell of a story, his
Yeah.
ideas get bought into, and everybody's on board, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
those soft skills, I think, are one of the critical components many technical people are missing. And it's understood, right? We're not we're coming from a field that's like that basically enables you to be kind of an introvert. Um, and
And I
and then
get
we're
that
like,
because I am also an introvert, which people
yeah,
don't think, but it's like I absolutely am.
so
I absolutely
funny.
like
Yeah,
professionally, I mask all day, but like at the end of the day, I'm
yeah,
exhausted. But I'm really good at the masking. But I am also an introvert, so like
yeah,
the energy is similar. Like I get it. I know nobody wants to be here when we're doing this stuff. We'd rather
yeah,
be at home in our jammies, but like
for sure.
it's like, but this is a skill set that I have honed. I'm really good at this. I can help you. But
Yeah,
as you said, like for people to get ahead and really sell their ideas, like do yourself the favor of learning this stuff. You don't have to become like a PR pro. There's a
no,
lot of on that spectrum in between. But like, for example, I think it's very helpful. I know a lot of us in the technical field, we tend to have a lot of friends who are technical. If you can have a friend who's not technical
that's
and
yeah.
like get a
And
drink
don't
with them
do
or
it to your
something,
spouse. Like,
yeah.
look, your spouse loves you. But if you tell them one more technical thing that you're
They're gonna
doing,
go
you're
unless
gonna
they
st
volunteer for it. Like, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you're gonna
Like, I'll
start getting
admit
a
that
lot
I
of
volunteer, but that's
cool.
the silly. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
my husband can do that with me, but that's because I actually really enjoy this stuff. But like
Yeah,
most
yeah,
spouses have not signed up for that. But like,
yeah,
have a non-technical friend and
Yeah.
who like wants to learn more, and like that person can be your sounding board if they're up for that. But there's also
Yeah.
the old advice of like explain it to a teddy bear. Like I have I have a purple
Oh, I
dragon on my
like
desk.
that.
I
Yeah.
also have a Borg teddy bear because I'm a Trekkie, and I when I'm trying to figure out how I'm working through something, I just
It's like I
explain
got
it to them.
stuffed
And
animals and stuff
yeah,
too.
yeah, it is ridiculous. It is
Yeah.
totally ridiculous, but it's also like how technical are you going to be explaining it to a purple dragon? I mean,
I kind of love
it
that.
it's explain it to a teddy bear, and and if you don't have an actual child you want to explain it to, who will listen to you.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's I know some people get annoyed. Why do I need to learn these skills? And it's for your own career, my friend. It's
No.
I mean, it will
And
do you so
this
many favors.
market is no longer about how technical you are, it's how likable you are.
True.
And as much as
It stinks, doesn't it? But
I
yeah,
deplore it, that is the reality. Like
yeah,
it's more about team fit than anything, right? Leader, I'm a hiring manager. Like a bad hire can really detriment my entire team. Like I will hire somebody less technical who's more chill and has a good attitude than somebody who's really technical who could run circles around that person.
I hope people hear what you just said and really
Yeah,
take that to heart, because I think some people learn that one the hard way. I've known
I
some
know
really
I did.
brilliant, yeah, I've known some really brilliant technical folks who bounce from job to job like every couple of months, and they're like, "Why can't I hold a job down?" And part of me wants to go, "Did you know that you're an asshole?"
Well, honestly, that's what happened to me in my 20s. My boss and I still love this woman, and a lot of why I mentor is because of her. Um, she said, "Look, everyone hates you," and I was like,
Oh
"Okay,
my God.
more context, please." She
Yeah.
goes, "Not everyone wants you to correct them when they're wrong. In fact, most people would rather be wrong than be corrected. That's one. When people don't ask you for help and you offer to help, that is arrogance."
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not being arrogant. I just want to help them because like I just want to make it easier for them. That's arrogance because you're not giving them an opportunity to fail.
Yeah.
And she
It's a
goes,
hard
"What is your
lesson.
greatest teacher?" And I was like, "Failure." And she goes, "So why are you taking that away from people?" And I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh shit.
Yeah.
What?"
Yeah.
And I went on like what I call my apology road show in my 20s where like I was like, "Hey, so apparently I've been an arrogant mansplaining asshole for like many years. I am so sorry." Now, fast forward to my 40s getting diagnosed with autism and I'm like, "Oh, story
Things
checks
make
out."
sense now. Yeah.
Yeah, I literally had no idea. I truly
Yeah.
didn't read your social cues, and I thought I was actually helping you.
Yes. Yep.
And it's one of those things where I learned it the hard way, but when I learned it, the change was almost immediate in everyone's
Yeah.
behavior when they worked with
Yeah.
me. So when
Yeah.
I thought they were the assholes, I was the one making them assholes, and I didn't
Yeah.
even realize it. I did a video
Yeah.
on social media. You can find it on my YouTube that says we're not all jerks. I promise we just don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
and
exactly right. Yeah. And I think like sometimes when we tell people about the likability thing, which it feels very vague, and I do get that. I think sometimes I know in my 20s I interpreted that as I have to make my personality corporate safe and
yeah,
like
yeah,
not bring my whole self to work.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's exhausting, and you will not last doing that. So
No,
there is a balance that you got to find, and I'm not going to say it's easy. But like
no,
I want to be my whole weird self. I want to bring all my weird edges with me, and because that's
for
what
sure.
makes me who I am. And I don't want to hide like my geekitude. Like all that stuff's important that I bring that with me. If I had to hide that at work, I would not last. But when I go to a place that celebrates that, and I can be my whole self, and when I can do as you described, not deprive people of their opportunity to learn, just as
Yeah,
I'd been given those opportunities to fail and learn,
yeah,
and recognize like we're especially at a company, we're all on the same team working towards the same goal. Like we're all
yeah.
supporting each other on this. And that we're all competent adults who are here for a reason. So to trust each other's expertise and competence, like that was very transformative for me. And like, yeah, I
Yeah,
could be my whole
same.
weird self, but I don't need to be like I'm the only hot shit here, and the rest of y'all are a bunch of morons. Like that's just
Yeah.
not that's not
Well,
going to get you anywhere.
it's really funny. Someone's like, "Oh, your personality is great," and it's like, "Yes, I created it just for you." Uh, so I mean, for the longest time, I think a lot of us with ADHD or even ADHD and autism, like we've masked for so long, we don't remember who we are.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
getting back to who you are and yourself, I think is incredibly, incredibly critical. Like, and being comfortable, being a little uncomfortable and having uncomfortable conversations. Like, I am very open about my autism and stuff because like when I start to nerd out, I go, hey, look, it was the tism.
Twas the
Like, I
tism, sir. Yeah.
didn't mean to talk to you about trains for a while, but like, it's like I will go off and just ramble about stuff, and I'll be like, I realized I lost you probably about 20 minutes ago, and I am so
You were very
sorry.
nice about it, but yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
please just tell me to shut up. Like sometimes I don't know. Or my wife when I tell her the same story that I've already told her because I'm really excited about something. I have literally no emotions for like most things, and then when I'm excited about something, I will tell the story and talk about it multiple times. And it's like, so he just holds up two fingers that say, "No, I've already heard this. I've already heard
That's a
this."
good signal. I might adopt that one.
Yeah, no, it's perfect.
When my
No,
husband
but
starts talking about his latest thing in Factorial, I'll be like,
two
sweet.
fingers, two
That's a two
fingers.
fingers.
Yep, two fingers. Yep, nope. I've already heard it.
Love your
No,
trains, love your bass, but yeah.
yeah. No, I appreciate you coming on. Being in technology doesn't necessarily mean being technical. A lot of the skills, a lot of the things that are critical to being a good technologist are being able to communicate and all the communications work you've done and all the stuff you do with hacking humans. Like I didn't know about the podcast. I'm not a big social media person, ironically, even though I'm on social.
You're busy
But
making your own. That's okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But like I've listened to several episodes and they're so educational. They teach so much and they educate people.
Oh,
Like they're
thank
they're
you.
perfect for any level. We've got like maybe a minute left. Like anything that you want to plug that I haven't plugged. I know you do a lot of sciencey stuff too. What's that podcast?
So my space show is called T minus Space. We're in a bit of an interesting transition right now. We used to be daily, and we're going to weekly now. But T minus Space is my other show. We're pivoting to doing more space cyber specifically. So
Oh,
I'm very excited
sign
about
me
that.
up.
I know.
I'll
I know.
come hang
We were
out
talking about
anytime.
that earlier. It's
Yeah.
like yeah, super. We're gonna be talking a lot. I know.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm a big space nerd and I'm a big cyber nerd, so let's go. Like you've
That's it.
combined my two favorite areas.
Yeah, yeah, same and same. But yeah, the other show I'm on is Hacking Humans, as you know. So that's
Yep.
that's really the big one that I'm on right now. So those are the two main things that I'm doing. So people can find me on Blue
Awesome.
Sky, LinkedIn. Just say hi. But yeah, I'm always happy to chat about stuff like this with folks. And I've had a lot of other cybersecurity journalists and writers and content folks reach out, and it's a really hard market out there for folks who do what I do. And there's no one path to get into it, but the skill set is very needed. There is always more that needs to be talked about and disseminated to the public or to customers or
Yeah.
whoever.
No, totally.
Don't lose hope.
Awesome. I appreciate you. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right.